Dr. Shannon, tell me, there's lots of people advertising instant, one day, come in, walk out in an hour implants. Why would anybody go for what, I don't know, maybe for lack of better name, let's call it an old-fashioned implant, where you need to wait 2, 3, 6 months to actually finish the whole work? Why would anyone do that if there is something around which works in the same day? Shed some light on it, please.
Well, it's kind of an interesting area, and it's a little controversial now because there are different methods that can be used, and certain methods are tried and true, and they work because there's statistical analysis that they work. There's lots and lots of people that had it done that way. That's the way it's been done since there's been this 95% success rate with implants. It's always been place the implant, wait 3 to 6 months, depending, on the area in the mouth and the type of bone that's there, that's been evaluated, and go ahead and then what we call load the implant. Now there's a new movement, so to speak, that's out there that's gaining momentum by these surgeons that are saying, in certain circumstances, you can do what we call an immediate load on an implant.
By load, you mean put the crown on it, right? Put the prosthesis on it. Put the put that fake tooth on it, right?
Right. So this way you can start chewing on it right away. Yes. So there's been a lot of success in that area with implants, and I not being a surgeon myself, I just place the crowns over the implants. Of course, the surgeons don't place the crowns even if it's a one day. So whether they have a surgeon come in the office in the morning and screw in the implants, and then they take an impression and they make the crowns, and then the dentist that does that work then cements it into place so that you can leave with it. And I'm sure that there is an analysis in different parts of the mouth and in different situations where that is a truly acceptable way of doing it, because technology has moved forward. There's more demand for implants, and therefore there's more demand for change to make it easier. Again, instant gratification. Person's wearing a denture for 20 years. What does their bone look like? Can that bone support 8 or 10 implants, and that same day that you put the implant in, put all those teeth in, cement them in, and tell them they can go home and eat? There are places that are doing that, and they're saying that it's successful, it's working. So I don't think, unless I see anything contrary to that, I have to think that that's the next generation, and that's the cutting edge for that. I guess time will tell with it.
I see. So basically the difference is there's no real difference in the implant actually. There's just a difference. Are you putting them in right away? Are you taking the risk that maybe it isn't completely cemented in? The cement isn't totally dry yet, like on a foundation on a house, and yet you start building the house. With a little bit of luck, nothing goes wrong, and with a little bit of unluck, you have to redo that house. That's kind of like a little bit what it is. And you say it's slightly too early for you to tell whether, one is better than the other one. So while you're not 100% sure, you probably wait a little bit longer to make sure it sits in, cements in, right?
Right. We have done some with doctors, individual with our surgeons. We've done individual crowns, not full mouth, but we've done individual crowns where the implant is placed the same day a tooth is extracted. One root comes out and the artificial root goes in. But again, it's usually not loaded immediately with a tooth so you can chew on it. They usually would like to see at least enough time where they can take an x-ray and see the bone really built solid around that implant. And I guess what you're looking at on an x-ray for something like that is usually about a month. Just like if you broke your arm, you get an x-ray and you look at it 4 to 6 weeks later, the doctor's happy, they take your cast off. The bone will heal. So right now, the fastest that I'm doing them with the surgeons that I'm using is 1 month. But it usually runs about 3 months for the average person that doesn't have complications.
Right. And of course, I think so. Tell me. So if it takes 1, 2, or 3 months to put that crown on it, you are giving him something in between to not look ugly, right? I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. We place temporaries in there, and they are if not better than what's been removed, what the person came in with when they were unhappy and wanted something to improve them with. So there is an improvement, and we're moving in the right direction, aesthetically and functionally, and how they can chew and everything. It would be better than what they had, but it's still, it's not the permanent thing, and that, of course, is, going to be state of the art, 1 month down the line. So, when someone has a problem that's lasted 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is, and they finally make the decision to go ahead with it, my advice at that point is get an evaluation. If a surgeon feels comfortable putting it in and says you're going to have the great results in 24 hours, then, he's standing behind it. Why would he say something if he's not going to stand behind it, If he says, I'm not really sure, we'll let's put it in and we'll evaluate it in a month. Waiting a month after waiting 15 or 20 years, what's a month, I mean, we have to get away from that instant gratification feeling that, that it has to be today.
Right. Okay. So, but there could be a possibility that technology and everything is getting so good, and it can be done.
I think so.
And basically go on an individual basis. If it works, the dentist will tell you. If it doesn't, he will tell you so too.
Yeah, I would say about 80+% of surgeons placing implants are not placing them on an immediate finished product the same day, in the morning, out in the afternoon. They're not doing that. Occasionally you'll hear an advertisement on the radio for some place that's doing that, but they're the exception to the rule. So something tells me that out there in the oral surgery placement of implant world, those people that are doing that, they're just not quite comfortable with doing them that way. So I don't want to promise that if they're not comfortable with it.
Well, I think you said it best by saying, look, this was missing a few years for sure, probably. What's a couple months? And on top of it, you're going to put a pretty nice temporary on it anyway, so what's the big deal? Thanks a lot, Dr. Shannon.
You're welcome. Bye.